Both Democrats and Republicans held end-of-session news conferences today on their final day of legislative work. Democrats recapping their legislative priority of affordability going into the session, saying they have delivered. They pointed to the so-called millionaire's tax included in the supplemental budget and the continuation of the state's 55% investment in education. They also said they protected Maine people from what they described as harmful federal cuts to food assistance and health care, arguing they fought for working families.
And I can tell you that we're going to keep fighting to make sure everyone can get the care they need to live full and healthy lives without going bankrupt in the process, because every Mainer deserves health care. Every Mainer deserves us fighting for them to make sure they have access to affordable health care when they need it.
When we launched this, we started with a simple premise that the job of government is to make life more affordable, more stable, and more secure for the people who call Maine home. And today, on Veto Day, I am very proud to stand with these folks and say that we delivered.
Democrats also highlighted changes they say will help Mainers struggling with housing and energy costs.
While Democrats pinned the high costs on federal changes, Republicans put the blame on 8 years of Democratic control in the state. They pointed to the state budget growing from $7.2 billion to $12 billion over that time, arguing Republicans were not fairly included in the budgeting process, also adding that the spending isn't leading to results, especially in education, and the lack of transparency regarding fraud is unacceptable.
Our children are not more prepared to be our greatest commodity for this state. Our children are not more prepared to become entrepreneurs and to become doctors and to lead this state where we need to be.
Put that in perspective. If you're a Mainer out there, if you're a working Mainer and you were making $70,000 8 years ago, are you now making $120,000? Chances are you're not. So why has our government?
Republicans also added concerns with government oversight of other departments, business regulations, and claiming several harmful policies to Mainers.